From just an average guy to a powerhouse in the music industry, he's created over 200 copyright-free tracks that have empowered millions of streamers and gamers worldwide. With over 5 billion streams and support from a different country like Brazil and India, he's made a massive impact without chasing fame or fortune, driven purely by passion. This is the journey of NEFFEX. Born on December 30, 1993 in Orange County, California, Bryce Savage, better known today as NEFFEX, was just a regular kid. He loved video games, hanging out with friends, and making memories like any of us.
And social media during my live streams, all sorts of stuff.
Everything started to change when he turned 15. That's when he picked up his first instrument and began learning music. Around the same time, he met Cameron Wales, another aspiring musician and future co-founder of NEFFEX. The two joined a punk rock band during their teenage years, bonding over their passion for music. Eventually, they left the band to explore their own musical styles, but NEFFEX wasn't born just yet. After high school, Cam moved to Los Angeles while Bryce went off to college. Despite the distance, they stayed in touch. Both of them had continued making music in their spare time. Realizing their shared drive, they decided to team up again. Reuniting in Orange County, they created the name NEFFEX and designed the now iconic fox symbol, marking the true beginning of their journey. In the early days of NEFFEX, around 2014, Bryce and Cam didn't have a stable income. In fact, they were juggling day jobs just to get by.
I don't think you guys know this, but when I was doing the first round of a song a week, I was having to produce the song, write the lyrics, and then still go to like a 9-to-5 job every single day, and I was working weekends sometimes.
But around that time, they noticed the rise of no copyright sounds on YouTube, a platform giving creators access to free music and gaining massive traction. Inspired by that success and recognizing the lack of copyright-free music online, they made a bold decision. All NEFFEX tracks would be released copyright-free. Their first early EDM instrumental, Until the End, was released on February 11, 2014. Over the next year, they released a total of 16 early EDM tracks, ending that era with Can't Slow Me Down on January 30th, 2015. But that was just the beginning. NEFFEX soon set out on one of the most ambitious challenges in music, to release one original song every week for 100 weeks straight, and every single one would be copyright-free. A move that would define their legacy and shake up the music scene for creators everywhere. Before NEFFEX kicked off their legendary 100-week challenge, they dropped a few tracks that hinted at what was coming. Songs like Killa, If Jowls Played Guitar, Messed Up, and one of my personal favorites, Memories. These early tracks, some still available on their main channel, were raw, experimental, and packed with potential. Then came February 2nd, 2017. NEFFEX released Bros Be for Hoes, the very first track of the 100-week challenge. And the response? Fans flooded the comments with excitement. For a debut in the challenge, the song had everything: catchy lyrics, a powerful drop, and a thumping bass line that hit hard. It was the perfect kickoff, and by the time this video was recorded, it had already gained over 6 million views. They wrote, recorded, and produced a brand new song every single week for 100 weeks straight. What started as a bold idea became a relentless mission built on discipline. But it wasn't easy. At the beginning of this challenge, Bryce was still working a regular 9-to-5 job. By the time they reached their 70th song, the burnout
Honestly,
hit
this time
hard.
I don't really plan on stopping too much. I mean, if I get a little bit of burnout by track like 70 or 80, which is kind of what happened the first 100 songs in 100 weeks, is I started to feel a little burnt out from writing.
They took a much-needed break to recover mentally and physically. But even then, they didn't quit. They came back, picked up where they left off, and pushed forward to finish what they started. And the payoff? some of the most iconic independent tracks on the internet. Their breakout hit, Fight Back, went viral and earned RIAA Gold certification in January 2023. Another fan favorite, Rumors, received Gold certification in June 2023. Across all platforms, their music has gained over 2 billion independent streams and even caught the attention of YouTubers like Mr. Beast, who left a comment on one of their videos. Finally, on January 2nd, 2019, they released the last song of the challenge, 100 Count It. 100 original tracks in 100 weeks. What once seemed impossible became reality, driven by pure passion, consistency, and belief in the vision. On October 16, 2019, and again in early 2021, NEFFEX entered a new chapter by teaming up with Warner Records Incorporated, a major milestone, as it marked their first official releases under a major label. Their debut EP with Warner was titled Q203, named after the apartment where they recorded some of their earliest songs. It featured 6 tracks: When I Was Young, Without You, It's My Life, Sunday, Primal, and Want Me. Not long after, they embarked on their first ever European tour, performing in 13 cities across October and November 2019. It was a huge step forward for a project that had started completely independently, just 2 guys uploading music online. Then came New Beginnings, their first full-length studio album released on September 25, 2020. It included collaborations with artists like Roses, Jez Dior, and Maassen. But despite the hype, the album didn't land the way some expected. NEFFEX had built a massive following on the idea of being copyright-free, a go-to for creators, gamers, and streamers. So when they signed to a label and began releasing traditional licensed music, it felt like a big shift. Some longtime fans were unsure how to react. Others supported the evolution, knowing that every artist has to take risks to grow. On July 6, 2021, NEFFEX announced a major turning point. Cameron Wales and Bryce Savage had mutually agreed to part ways.
I saw one guy comment on YouTube. He was like, you seem fine without Cam, and he seemed frustrated by it. And the reason I seem fine or I am fine is because Cam and I ended things mutually on good terms, and we're both excited for the future.
Cam decided to pursue a solo project while Bryce chose to carry on the NEFFEX name alone. Naturally, fans were left wondering, what's next for NEFFEX? Would the music still have the same fire? Could Bryce handle it all on his own?
Also, is the music going to sound the same? Is it going to feel the same without Cam? I want to put all your guys' minds at ease. One, I love what I do. I love making music, and I love NEFFEX. So I don't think it'll ever be too stressful. But if it ever did get too stressful, I have a great team in place that would 100% help me out and help take work off my plate.
Just one day later, on July 7, 2021, he announced a bold new mission, another 100 songs in 100 weeks. And just like the first time, every track would be royalty-free and free to use by creators around the world. The challenge kicked off with Revolution on July 14, 2021, and wrapped up 2 years later with the empowering anthem, I Will Be the Best, on June 7, 2023. NEFFEX didn't just survive the split, it evolved, it kept moving forward, and it stayed true to what made it special from the beginning. And on March 15, 2025, Bryce Savage announced a new era for NEFFEX.
I'm working harder on new songs than ever before, elevating everything from the production to storytelling, etc.
By the time this video was recorded, only 3 songs had been released under this new direction: Wake Up, Say My Name, and Save a Life. And while fewer in number, these tracks carry something different: more vulnerability, more storytelling, more depth. NEFFEX isn't just a music project. It's a movement, a story of relentless ambition, creative freedom, and the power of doing things your own way. From late-night sessions after 9-to-5 jobs to viral anthems that fueled a generation of creators, to rebuilding and rising stronger, this journey has been anything but ordinary. Their songs aren't just tracks. They're motivation, they're fuel, And if there's one thing NEFFEX has proven time and time again, it's that passion beats everything.